This episode on themesh.tv is sponsored by The Sock Factory, making quality socks in North Carolina since 1975. As producers of Crazy Compression, William Tucker, and Fit Sock, The Sock Factory has something for everyone. To find out more, visit thesockfactory.com.
What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Everyone, welcome to Street Circle Drive here on The Mesh. Thank you for joining us today on our special holiday extravaganza episode.
Ho, ho, ho.
Don't call me names. No, I'm kidding.
Hey.
That was Caboose.
How dare you?
No, well, okay, so we are a little bit off our norm today, if you will.
We're in the holiday fog.
It is a holiday brain fog.
Yes, and that's okay because I feel like everybody else is. It's always okay if everybody else is in the fog.
That's what
and you can be
told
too.
myself.
Right. Yes. So we are bringing you a special holiday episode today where we have not one but two restaurant reviews for you, which we have just partaken in. And we're all, let's see, Moose had a soda with lunch. You had a soda with the after lunch.
Yes.
And I had a coffee. So we all should be ready to go.
Perfectly caffeinated.
Not sleeping on the job today.
Rip roaring, ready to go. It's definitely not as bad as it was last time where we were just straight up food coma. So
Absolutely.
I'm quite lively today. I'm heavily caffeinated.
Good. Ready to go. Well, as I said, you're listening to Street Circle Drive here on The Mesh, and we hope that you are checking out all the other shows that The Mesh has to offer. You can find us at themesh.tv, of course, on Apple and other podcast players, but all over Facebook, social media, Instagram, everything else. Follow us, like us, subscribe, all those good things. Now, boys, do you know where we're coming to you live from today?
I do. I'm so excited about this. I'm really excited about not being on the bottom of some awful list.
Well, then tell us, dear Moose.
Well, we saw this a couple days ago flying across the social media feed here in Hickory. Hickory, North Carolina was ranked number one top tinsel town in the United States of America, people. Can you feel it? Can you feel the holidays here in Hickory?
We're number one.
Next to McAdenville.
Yeah.
Well, I was surprised when I saw that.
I was a little surprised. We all know how Hickory's record with clickbait goes, and has not been very successful or great in the past, but we do appear on a lot of lists.
That's the truth. Even in the bio and on our podcast page, it says Andrew Moose is triggered by list, and that is the truth. However, today we bring you good news from Hickory, North Carolina, saying that we are the number one tinsel town here in America. And here's the parameters. If you're wondering why in the world, how did Hickory, North Carolina come to be the number one tinsel town in America? Well, folks, here it is. Number one in Google searches for Christmas parade, Hanukkah, and Festivus. 2, seasonal cashiers as a percentage of all employees. Percentages of home listings with a fireplace or chimney. Christmas tree and holiday decorations businesses per capita. Toy stores per capita. Ready for this one? Alcohol consumption rates by state. Number of Christmas trees cut down per state. Percentage of all flight arrivals between December 19th and 23rd.
Not in Hickory.
So you add up all those statistics. Guess what, folks? Hickory, numero uno.
So the last few of those narrowed it down to North Carolina, I assume, with the Christmas trees cut down, the flights, all those things. And then I guess once they landed on a state, the number of seasonal cash...
Right, seasonal cashiers.
Thank you.
Seasonal cashiers as a percentage of all employees.
And that,
is that
and
good?
The toy stores per well, no. I mean, you wouldn't want that to be a high percentage.
Right. Well, obviously that goes into a large part of why we're number one. Seasonal cashiers as a percentage of all employees. I mean, that's something.
It's one of the I love
toy
living
stores
here.
do we have?
And I'd like to say that I founded one of the Christmas tree and holiday decoration businesses. Xmas Trees, still in business, I think.
Rocking
so
it.
how many toy stores do we have?
All right, Lulu's Corner.
Lulu's.
Is there
Toys
one in
R
the
Us.
mall? Toys R Us, thank you.
I bet
Night Secrets.
I bet they're also putting things out there like
Priscilla McCall's.
Yes. Why am I hosting with boys? Why am I the only girl in here? I'm just going to stop talking. I'm assuming places like Hobbytown, USA, and
Like Hobby Lobby? Is that kind of stuff? What are
I
you
don't know if Hobby Lobby is, but
Yeah.
Hobbytown.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, over there beside Toys R Us, there's a Hobbytown store.
Okay.
It's Wes Baker's favorite.
Oh, it's like
Sorry, Wes.
like model airplanes and trains and things like
Correct.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
you
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
have to
yeah.
count that. I
mean,
wonder
of
if you'd
course
also
you
count
do.
like GameStop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We have a couple of
We got-
those, don't
yeah.
we? Yeah, and so
Comic
yeah,
book store, stuff like that. you
Yeah.
probably count.
We do have,
Yeah,
we have
so
at
I
least
think-
one of those.
I
Yeah,
think
there you go.
there's
See,
some-
it just keeps adding up.
some parameters around that. That's not just straight up like how many things called toys.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
So, okay,
Yeah, but I'm still surprised. And again, we live here, we love here,
yeah, we do a show about
Yeah.
here.
but I don't drive around thinking, "Wow, this is straight up out of a movie." As far as the Christmas Tinseltown, like a Tinseltown
Right.
moniker,
We're probably equidistant between McAdenville and Tanglewood, though.
Tanglewood does rock. I mean, so many places do that. Now, McAdenville, I have not been there.
I haven't either.
I have it on the list to go and
You've
take the
never been
kids.
to McAdenville, period.
I've never been there, period, but I've also never been there, especially during the season of lights, which is what they're known for.
Yeah.
Now, I've driven on 85 and seen
During
the
your
traffic buildup,
Yeah.
which has deterred me from going, but I do have that on the list of things to do and take the kids to. But that's the kind of thing that I would think of. Or even just last week, I was in, beautiful Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yes.
Hour and a half east of here, where the whole Christmas ball phenomenon was born. And then
Sure.
I think it's called Sunset Hills is the neighborhood or something like that. And we drove through that neighborhood, and it's impressive that this neighborhood shooting these Christmas balls out of potato guns, and they're up in the
Sure.
trees. It's nuts.
Well, there's.
We don't have anything like that
We're
here.
pretty close to Bethlehem.
That is true.
I mean,
North Carolina.
yes. So let's just, just as a heads up, we have a Bethlehem right beside Hickory. Some of the zip codes still match up to Hickory
So
in
people that live in
Bethlehem.
Bethlehem have a Hickory address.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. So we can talk about it on here. But there are some other like cities and towns across the United States that kind of have that beat, I think. There's Santa Claus, Indiana.
Wow.
Christmas, Florida.
Yeah, you can't be in Florida and have that moniker.
Yeah,
You're not going to be
Frank-
on that list.
Frankenmuir, Michigan.
Sounds a little more like a Halloween.
Yeah.
Tinseltown is what it was
It's-
called?
yeah,
There's gotta be a
Tinseltown
Tinseltown
is
somewhere.
good.
It's through
stuff,
Realtor.com.
right.
Yeah, Realtor.com announced this list. I'll tell you who the runner-ups are. Eugene, Oregon.
Go Ducks.
Buffalo, New York. Pittsburgh, PA. Sarasota, Florida.
See, get out of
Hartford,
here,
Connecticut.
Florida.
Providence, Rhode Island. Salisbury State, Maryland.
Salisbury State.
Salisbury, Maryland. And St. Louis, Missouri.
Boom.
Mary Margaret has lived in 2 of these cities.
Hey.
Lafayette, Louisiana. So, I mean, obviously you could see we're much more Christmas related than all those towns put together.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I am happy for the attention of
I
the
am
list.
too. I'm
Good, positive.
I'm just real happy we don't get drug around the internet like we usually are in these lists. At least we're not like most Scroogey.
But they must know
Holiday.
that we love clicking on lists that show Hickory. Though.
Evidently.
Absolutely.
Evidently.
I'm waiting for the list of like the top listed cities and lists.
We're number one.
That's a good one.
We're number one for
We're
sure.
number one.
Yes.
I'd say we're the number one community in the country for handsome bald fellows.
Hey.
I agree.
I mean, definitely in
Damn,
this building.
Take that.
Definitely
everywhere
in
else.
this building. You guys
We
are,
might have some That's where Florida can't do Tinseltown, but they might compete with the bald thing.
Yeah, maybe.
possibly newlywed and nearly dead.
So
Yes.
our, we're happy that Hickory
We'll
is.
take it.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely, we'll take it.
This
Thank
is
you,
one of those that will-
Realtor.com for giving Hickory some shine on these lists. Moving right along, we were talking today at lunch about our Christmas traditions, and full disclosure, if you have children, this is the time where you turn the podcast either down or you put headsets in because we're getting ready to talk about the big man.
Yes,
And not
the
me.
North Pole visitor. So
Yes.
we need you on the count of 5 to have taken care of your children's ears.
That's right.
Earmuffs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're talking about Santa Claus now. One of the topics we asked today is your traditions growing up. Now, we're all in sort of, some of us, different situations. McNally and I both have children. In fact, we have all girls combined.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Moose, you have no children.
I have 0 children.
Right. You do have pets and a girlfriend.
I do have 3 dogs and a girlfriend, yes.
Yeah, so your list is not completely empty. You still got to think about stuff.
I'm thinking about buying stuff.
Yeah, you also have family.
I do have family.
And you have a nephew.
I do.
So little ones.
Oh, he's not really little. He's 5.
Still little.
Baller.
So
5's a fun age.
Yeah, it is. So we all have things that we have to buy. We all have things we have to do. But when Santa Claus comes to our house, I grew up with half of my presents from Santa, being wrapped, and half of them being open. And that was just a fair compromise between my parents because my mom grew up with toys unwrapped from Santa because Santa had to play with them beforehand. He had to put batteries in and check them out and test it. And my dad grew up with them wrapped because Santa, brought wrapped presents from the North Pole.
That just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So they compromised, and I had a little bit of both. Currently, for my children, we do unwrap Santa stuff. I think it's just a benefit to the parent at this point.
Absolutely.
That's just my thought.
Honestly, you got to think of labor. The amount of elves already there putting the toys together is tremendous.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You have to have
and now I've got to almost double my workforce just to wrap the presents.
Whole wrapping division.
It just makes it more confusing when you come to the different houses and you're like, who's whose? I don't know. I got all these wrap presents.
And quite honestly, let's McNally especially, because you have children. Yes. How many presents are wrapped under your tree right now, which is today is December 14th?
Well, and this is different from years past.
Okay.
See, I grew up where Santa Claus brought unwrapped presents. And that was a little easier for me. I'm 9 years older than my sister, so it was pretty obvious.
Sure.
Most instances to tell. I didn't get too many dolls and things like that after a certain age.
Not too many.
So it was a little easier. So I can understand the plight of some parents. My wife grew up, Santa Claus wrapped the presents. So it's one of those things that they don't really bring up in your pre-marriage classes with the pastor.
Sure.
Is like, how do you want to wrap your kids' presents? They talk about money and things like that. So we're going into the first Christmas with the kid thinking, all right, this is cool. And then she's breaking out some wrapping paper. And I thought, I don't know what's going on.
Au contraire.
The other thing that got me by surprise is I grew up, presents were wrapped. They were put down when they were wrapped under the tree, starting to load it up. I was a little kid. I'd sneak under there, shake it, look, dream about what it could be. And I get here, my wife's like, nope, everything goes out the night before. It was absolute shock to me.
Wow.
That's a lot of work on Christmas Eve.
Well, they might have been wrapped somewhere else, but
they may have been hidden.
It went from nothing to something.
Right.
My wife did like the shock and awe for the children the morning of. So I do get that. But now that the kids are getting older and they buy each other presents, not themselves, they buy each other presents.
Yeah, sure.
With our money. They now wrap them. So there's some under there, but there's probably maybe 10 presents under the tree right now.
Okay.
But this is the first year of that.
Okay. So normally there would not be presents under your tree right now at all.
Normally
right?
for the last 8 years.
Okay, got it.
Yes. But nobody's copping out and just go ahead and putting Santa presents under the tree. It's like, Santa came early.
No. Even when I was growing up, I mean, there would be tons of presents under the tree, but none from Santa. I mean, the Santa ones are still sat out right beside your opened ones. Like there might be a bicycle leaning up against a wrapped box.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So.
Yeah.
And it just gave a little bit more for like opening. And quite honestly, my parents did it because they told me at one point that it stretched it out because otherwise you wake up crazy early and then you go through
and you're done at 8:10.
Tear through it. Crazy fast done.
Do you guys do one present at a time at your house?
Another great question.
I'm telling you, there are so many good ones out there.
What did you grow up with?
One present at a time, and true to open your presents while other people were opening their presents.
Correct.
So it was you and one brother?
Yeah, my younger brother, Justin. Yeah.
Okay. You had 2 brothers.
I had 2 brothers, and we went around in a circle.
I grew up with just me and my sister, and we went around in a circle with like the spotlight, and you're sitting there, and my dad would look and be like, all right, you got about 2 left, you got 3. Okay, it's your turn. You got to open one this time. So it was kind of an order until you got down where you could see how many were left. Well, I don't necessarily like doing that because it's a little awkward, but I'll tell you what, when you've got kids, you'll just blink.
Yeah.
And they have no idea who got them what.
That's right.
You have no idea what they have until it's all just in a pile of carnage.
You have to focus at one point.
Yes.
On
it's
each
almost like
present.
when you're sitting there with this wedding, when they have the newlyweds, when you're going to have the parties for everybody before. And see, I'm so far removed from
Showers.
this. Showers,
as
thank
they're
you.
Called.
Where somebody's there
man.
writing down, oh, that's from so-and-so. So you can write the card. Like, it's almost like I need to bring in somebody and hire somebody to sit with me the morning of and go through that. Because it's madness.
Well, I hear you. We do it to stretch it out a little bit. It has to, again, just to focus on, by God, if I sat here doing this, wrapping and or placing of Santa while you were snug in your beds upstairs, I'm going to get some gratification from this and enjoy watching every single one of them.
Yes.
Still done quickly.
Usually my wife and I will look around each other about 10 o'clock and we'll be like, oh, we didn't open our presents.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And not that there's a lot, but we've made sure we have some so that the kids see that we give each other gifts, but then we realize also the kids don't care.
We actually include ourselves in the circle as it goes around.
Yeah.
So we go from age, it's youngest to oldest or oldest to youngest, depending on how many boxes everybody's got. Mm-hmm. Yep. And you go around in a circle. Mm-hmm.
Okay, next topic of conversation. Stockings. Did you guys always get oranges in your stocking?
I don't even know what to say right now. I don't know if I should feel sorry for you or what. You got oranges?
Yeah, oranges. You got oranges in your stocking, didn't you?
Well, here's the thing.
Or fruit of some sort.
No. Hold on.
Okay.
I got married to someone who received what they call a ditty bag. And it's like a stocking, but there were so many grandkids. It's like instead of having stockings for every single one of them and having to put the names on all of it, they basically bought those bags that, like, they look like wine bags. Like a tall one or whatever, and that's where all your stocking stuff went in. So, like, his grandparents didn't have a fireplace.
Yep.
So everybody got a bag, and it had oranges, hard candy, some candy canes and stuff, and that was always in there. Always. That was the first time I started getting it, was after I actually married into the family.
Right. This got to have some tradition down the line from somewhere.
Well, my kids, no, we'll address this in a second. It was another question I had for you guys, but my kids' favorite Christmas song is Hard Candy Christmas. You know what that means? Do you even know that song?
No.
I don't.
My mind is blown
Dolly
right now
Parton.
that y'all get...
Oh, okay.
Okay, well,
that there is
I'll
a
get back
thing
to
of getting
hard candy.
oranges in
I'll get hard
stockings.
candy Christmas.
My
Yes.
40 years on God's green earth,
Oh,
I've
man.
never heard of this.
I think it goes back to families being like poor as dirt growing up. And not my family
My
in
wife's
particular.
from Florida, and they didn't get oranges.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
maybe
it's out here.
Maybe it was because it was a treat in North Carolina or something like that.
We'll go with
as maybe like lower socioeconomic classes got oranges in their stocking because they were treats of some sort.
So
That's just my guess. I have no idea.
There's several reasons.
Okay. Google us.
One of them is that it was called St. Nicholas and his sacks of gold. So it was when the tradition or the story, if you will, of St. Nicholas, actually came from like what is present day Turkey, and it was kind of this. It was St. Nicholas. We're not talking about Santa Claus, obviously. The gold happened to land in each of the girls' stockings when they were hanging by the fire to dry, which is what he was when he traveled from house to house. He had these sacks of gold that he would pull from the chimneys for dowries. Anyway, one year it dropped and fell in, and they were saying that it was gold in their stockings, and so oranges were a symbol of this gold in your stockings for years.
Much rather have gold in my stocking now.
Right, yeah. Another one was, as you were saying, it was a treat during the Great Depression. And that in the 30s, money was tight. Many families simply just didn't have the means to buy gifts. But it was such a treat, even a luxury, to find sweet things like oranges and some walnuts, which were also in our bags that I got from for Christmas, in your stocking at Christmas. Another theory is that December is the season of giving, and the orange segment represents the ability to share with others. So, like, you can break the oranges into different pieces.
By your look, McNally, I think we're starting a tradition at the McNally house.
Looks like everybody's getting oranges.
I'm out.
Oh.
I'd rather not have a stocking.
Lame.
Yes.
Lame. No, in fact, I might start that with my children this year now
There you go.
that you brought that up. Carry on some further stuff. We never really did that growing up, but like I said, I married into a family that did, so I always got one from the grandparents.
That's interesting.
In-law grandparents.
What's your favorite traditions that you guys have with your families currently?
Well, traditions currently?
Like with my kids,
Like
my
newer,
own kids.
you guys starting your own traditions?
Well, everybody and their mom has the elf on a shelf.
But let's not talk about favorite ones. That's not a favorite of mine.
I
So
actually
I don't
like
even
it.
know
My
what that
wife
is.
does not.
I'll see Elf on a Shelf, on social media or something. Kids. I don't even. What is it? Enlighten
It is
me.
literally a stuffed elf. That's
It is.
a foot tall, maybe.
Yeah, it's probably a good. Guess.
And he moves. There's a book that comes with it. You
Yep.
purchase it.
Your
There's a
kids
book.
name 'em.
The kid, you read the book the first time to your child. And then
Okay.
at the very end, it says, now your elf will appear in your house because you've summoned him almost, right? He works for
He's
Santa.
A scout elf.
He works for
Oh,
Santa.
so he's like doing Santa's bidding, like
Santa
he's
sends
like watching out.
scout elves
Yeah.
to the kids' houses.
Yeah.
That's
They
good.
name him.
Yeah.
So he comes back every year. He's your elf.
Yeah.
Then he will, every night, he leaves to
Right.
go tell Santa what's up at the house.
what happened
Right.
that day.
Then he comes back before you wake up, but he forgets where he was beforehand, so he always ends up somewhere
Different.
else.
Oh.
And sometimes he gets into mischief.
Oh, okay, I got you.
So
Because
there's
he's an elf. They're little. They
impish
are.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elf on a Shelf, great, I understand. Like, do your kids, do they act better during the holiday season?
Yeah.
Because they think Santa Claus is omnipotent and watching over them at all
Absolutely.
times?
I had one of my kids was very excited just because then her sister would be nicer too. She's like, oh, it's like a vacation.
Yeah. Well, there you
So
go.
I don't know. That's bad for
I
my parenting
have
skills.
been known to say, I bet he's watching.
Ooh.
Because it works.
It's like a threat. It's a threat.
I had a buddy. This is several years ago. His kids, they must have been. This is a shout out to Lee Crump. He got frustrated with the kid. He just marches straight up to the elf and starts unloading machine gun style, and the kid just lost it.
Well, tell him why he lost it. Not only did he hurt the elf, but the
What do you do?
rule is
Physically,
Oh no, he
wait.
just sat there to the elf and just told it. He didn't touch
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
touch
yeah.
it, it
Oh, like
loses its
everything the
magic
kid did
and can't
wrong?
go back.
No,
Just
like-
he
that's
just
the thing,
said,
you cannot
won't
touch 'em."
believe that my kid did this, and the kid's
That's
like,
great.
no, it's
Yeah.
gonna ruin Christmas.
Absolutely. Hey,
So she lost it.
you cannot touch the elf. It loses its magic. I even made a
and they can't
movie
fly
about
back.
it a couple years ago, right? And I mean, it was bad. Then they can't fly back. Then Santa doesn't know. Santa, it's horrible. You do not touch the elf. What is your elf name, McNally?
Sika.
Sika. Interesting.
Yep. Cameron was. She was
kid-
probably
first
3
kid
when we
gets to
had
name it, right?
The twins couldn't talk or anything.
Yep.
She got the book, and she named it Sika. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was like hide and Sika or something, but
Okay.
Sure. And where is he today?
today he is in the twins' bathroom by the sink.
Okay. Fair enough. Ours is named Carl because my youngest named it that. I don't know how.
Yes, you did.
Didn't even know. I mean, not my youngest.
It's a name.
Sorry, she was youngest at the time. Yeah. I don't even know how she knew that name, but she named it Carl.
funny.
Carl comes back today. Carl played darts last night apparently while everybody was sleeping and made 3 bullseye, and he is hanging from one of the darts.
See, we mix
Nice.
ours up because
Ton 80.
my wife always forgets, and then she doesn't want to be held responsible for trying to do that.
Yeah.
So we don't try to do creative all the time because there's
Oh,
only so much.
absolutely.
Again, we talked
Same
about
here.
how we're brain dead right now. Part of it is because of this elf.
Yeah.
So he has rolled a bathroom so far this year. He's been
Yeah.
suspended from the lights with string. He's
Yes.
wrapped the entire bathroom before in Christmas wrapping paper.
Yes.
That was extensive. But sometimes he just moves.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Mine just moves a lot.
Yeah. But
in
you see some
fact-
pictures
Oh my
of
gosh,
things
some
that put
people
us
go
to shame.
way up.
And I love this too, how kids, and maybe they do now, I don't, but now that everything can be shared so easily, then why kids don't sit there and just, how come everybody doesn't have an elf? How
Yeah.
come my elf does cool stuff, yours doesn't?
Oh, I get asked
The
that
same
all
thing
the
is like
time.
Christmas.
Yeah.
How come Santa Claus brought you 600 different toys and I got these oranges?
Yeah. Well,
That's what I'd be saying if I got a stocking of oranges.
yeah, well,
You just got one in the toe.
one in the toe, right?
One in the
Yeah.
toe.
Yeah.
Wasn't like the
It's like
only thing in there.
Coal for Floridians.
Well, they,
It would be.
I do get asked a lot sometimes, like, one year, I remember my daughter, it was probably like last year, actually said, like, thank goodness Carl doesn't get into too much trouble. You know, like but my kids leave him notes and expect answers back. So my kids have these whiteboards in their, like, rec room that they will leave questions up there. I mean, damn if I don't have to just sit there and think up the most creative answers that I can come up with.
I don't know if I'm creative, but my left hand penmanship is pretty bad, so it works out really well for me.
I do it too with the left hand.
Do some backwards letters.
Our E's are always backwards.
E's are always, and his name's Sika, so there's always E's.
Yes. So, like, questions this year were, what sport do you play? Like, what is your middle name? How old are you in elf years? I mean, like,
that's a good one.
Crazy stuff.
My Izzy wrote one. It was great because she wrote one about she loves him. She's so glad he's our elf. You know, he's taken letters to Santa on their behalf before.
Right. Yes.
But he wrote back to her, but she also wrote one because my mother-in-law has an elf there at her house. I think it's just decoration. The kids come. Doesn't have a name. So he's just Grammy's elf. And so she wrote in a letter to Grammy's elf. Hi, Grammy's elf. Do you know Sika and all these sort of things?
I said that too.
Yeah, it's great.
Both my kids' classes have elves this year.
Yep, they've had some of those.
So they have appeared, you know, and like yesterday, my oldest was telling me
it's a great move for a teacher, by the way. You're asking about behavior?
Absolutely, it's
I had that sucker out the Scout Elf came early this year. It's August 30th.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, now that you say that, I told my brother I did this one year, and he was like, really? How'd you come up with this? So I have like a fairy for every holiday.
Oh.
Okay. So there is the birthday fairy, okay, which really sticks around for a whole month prior to your birthday. Oh, the birthday fairy's watching. You better be good, or you're not going to be having the birthday
Our Scout Elf
presents.
comes out the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Ours comes December 1st. Yes.
Either one of those are
whole
perfectly
month
acceptable.
Worth.
Yes.
Whole month worth. So we do the birthday fairy.
I love it. This is great. I really like where this is headed.
I have the summer fairy. Okay, we have, like, I will literally make up a fairy for anything.
Do you have a character like the elf, like an actual stuffed animal?
No, they are magical and they are watching.
And they're invisible.
Yeah.
See, I'd have to have...
They're just watching.
Yeah, I'd have to have some physical...
They do leave notes occasionally. They have left notes before. It's very Tooth Fairy-ish,
Sure,
you know?
Yeah, sure.
So, anyway, I'll pull out a fairy line all
I need to
the
come
time.
out with a...
Yeah.
You know what? The mother-daughter combo that created this Elf on a Shelf, sipping Mai Tai somewhere on the beach right now.
Millionaires. They are not worried about Christmas
we need
whatsoever.
in honor of my ancestry? A St. Patrick's elf that comes, watches the kids during late winter, early spring.
Fair enough. It's
Yep.
your spring elf. It's your spring fairy.
elf.
Nice.
He's a little St. Patrick's guy.
All you gotta do is go
if
get
you
a
want to
little
get some beers on
stuffed
St.
animal.
Patrick's Day, you better be good for all of February and March.
All you got to do is go out and buy like a little stuffed
I can make this easy.
thing.
They
and
make them
it's-
for us already.
Absolutely. They make something for everything.
But I think you're onto something.
Well, it works. Telling you. Now, I do.
You first. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I just have a secret to tell. Okay, it's not that big of a secret, but it is funny of what has happened to me and my husband this year. So this is, we've been in the habit over the years with my immediate family, that we really don't buy presents for each other as adults, just for the children. Okay.
Same.
Yes. So I think, it's probably not that uncommon with a lot of like adult families. On my husband's side, it's not that way. It's usually everybody kind of gets each other gifts, but they're, obviously you're a little more conservative when you get older with the gifts that you're buying for your mother-in-law or whatever it may be. But still, my side of the family has not done adult gifts in a long time. This summer, we went on a family cruise together, all of us. And at the dinner table one night, my brother says, I'm getting really sick of this whole, just buying for kids. Let's do something for each other. Okay. Granted, this is the brother doesn't have children, so therefore he knows he's getting nothing in his house, right? But nonetheless, he says, what if we did a drawing names for just the adults? And we were like, all right, cool, we're in it. And he's like, even if we just set a $50 limit, just one gift, we're going to open up something then when we're all together. We're like, okay. And he's like, well, we're all together now. Let's go ahead and draw names. This is the only time we all are together, of course. We're like, brilliant. Write the names down. We draw names. Works out. You can't get your spouse, obviously. So therefore, it's worked out on the first draw. We were like, great, here we go. A couple weeks ago, Wes, my husband, and I both looked at each other and said, I don't remember who I got. Okay. And Wes was like, me neither. Wes was like, whose bright idea was to do it on a cruise when we're sitting there eating like big meals and lots of
blame
drinks?
it on the meals. Yeah.
Lots of drinks at the table. And it's like, we all were like, I'll remember my name. Not a clue. First of all, I was lucky that I remembered we actually drew names. True. Second of all, the fact that I don't remember.
How are you gonna remedy this?
Well, so
I was about to say, did you covertly disclose this?
I immediately sent a text to my entire family, and I'm like, so here's the thing. I don't remember whose name I drew. And, of course, my brothers were like, I remember, and I've dreamt about it every night, and I planned the perfect gift. They were like, I've planned the perfect gift, and the person whose name I drew was going to be, so thankful for everything I give them.
It wasn't going to be like secret where you didn't know who gave you the gift, was it?
No.
Okay, so you could ask.
You could, okay. Right, yeah, but we just kind of weren't really prepared for that. Everybody was like, no, wait, like, I'm not ready to tell you who her name is.
You could do, like, reasonable deduction, like, ask each person who they have, and then kind of narrow it down.
No, you can't.
Of course you could. You say, hey.
Nah, you have to do a virtual redraw.
Absolutely. Okay,
your parents remembered, I bet.
So we were like, of course my parents remembered, right. Of course, apparently everybody remembered except me and Wes. Okay. So we,
we know who's having most fun on the cruise.
Right. So I literally have it texted out, and I have not yet hit the send button that, hey, there are some online sites you can go to for a drawing, or whatever. And about that time, my mom sends a text that says, I've already purchased my present. And I was like, oh. So I said, delete. And I said, has anybody else gone shopping for theirs? No. But my mom's like, mine's great. I've got mine. Yeah, I've got mine. It's really good. What are we going to do? So I'm freaking out a little bit. Wes is just like, I'll figure it out. Like, no big deal. I have this brilliant idea. I was like, pull out your wallet and let's just see if there's any little scrubs of paper that you put in there, like on the cruise or anything. And he's like, I didn't carry my wallet like around on the cruise, but maybe, right? So he's looking through nothing. The next day, we had something to go to. I don't remember what it was. And I pulled out this little clutch purse that I had taken on the cruise. I forgot. Open it up. Slip of paper in the bottom. Little folded up tiny piece of paper in the bottom. Pulled it out, looked at it. I'm like, I know my name. So I immediately text my family and said, I know mine. Wes, no such luck, but he's got a pretty good idea of who it is. So we'll see if it all comes out okay. But that was horrible. I mean, I literally felt so bad. Like I was like, everybody's getting a gift card, But I think we got it figured out. I know mine for sure.
How crushed would your mom be if everybody did gift cards except for her? She would go upside all y'all's heads.
No, you know what the thing is?
Unless you gave her a gift card to Sonny's.
True.
Then
get some good hamburgers. I mean, the thing is, Margaret Jackson would be like, you guys are the sweetest people to think of me and do this gift card because it's amazing. And that's why, she's the mom. She's the grandmom. That's why she's perfect like that. But
magic. She's great.
She is great.
I think that's the best way to go with, especially folks that have big families. And instead of buying presents for everybody and turning it into a real thing,
it's hard when you're adults.
It is. It's really hard, especially when you have other kids to buy for and all that stuff.
Definitely.
And, do you guys have you ever done the Chinese Christmas? Is that racist? But where you give the numbers?
White elephant.
White elephants.
White elephant.
Yeah, that's what we call it. And yes, I have done that.
Take other people's presents.
Yeah, white elephant.
That's usually it's office.
Right. Okay.
Larger groups.
Yeah. Okay. Here's a real serious question. Make sure your kids are away from this. Honestly, what age do you tell them that maybe that
you don't tell them
the true magic?
The true magic of Christmas is not the gift of Santa Claus. It's the gift of family and all that.
You do not tell them.
You don't tell them. Mm-mm. You let them figure it out themselves.
Yep.
Okay. You want me to tell you what happened to me when I was a kid? I had a third grade teacher who actually had to call my mom because I was the only one in class who still believed in it. How about that?
In third grade?
Yeah, third or fourth grade. It already made it around.
Were you held back a little bit?
No. How dare you? I didn't take naps. I couldn't take naps. No, my mom told me just told me this year and said,
Mrs. Moosey's 12. He's in 3rd grade. We got to work on this.
He's getting ready to start driving. He really needs to know that Santa Claus is
not going to save him if
character. No, my mom told me that my teacher in whatever grade it was made a phone call to my folks to say, listen, Andrew still believes in Santa Claus and you need to tell him because everybody else in his class already knows. So I was like the only holdout. Like I was really adamant
your
about
class sucks.
That teacher's horrible. Then,
yeah.
No, she's not. I think
she's horrible. Everybody kind of starts questioning their kids. Some kids find out because they have older siblings. Then the kid comes and asks you, and you determine if it's like,
how to explain
what's your household situation?
Yes.
If you've got little kids, all right, hey, here's the deal, but now you're in on the loop. You've got to help.
My kids, I have a
teacher should never dictate that.
No, absolutely not. Your kids, all 3, you have 3 kids.
Yep.
All 3 years still believe.
My oldest is 9, and she still believes.
Yeah. Mine's 10, still believes.
And she's in 4th grade at 9, Moose, just so you know.
In 5th grade. Yeah.
So do you think she's the only one that believes in her class?
No.
Nope.
No.
Now, my oldest has come and said that she's heard some people say that they don't believe.
I mean, who's the kids in class that are like, listen, everybody. This
typically
is
the bad kids.
The bad kids. Mm-hmm. It's the bullies.
Yeah, which is why
what a
in the
bully.
Baker
That's
household,
a bully way. Yeah.
Why in the Baker household we don't believe them? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
sure.
Because it's like, why do you ever listen to these bullies? Like ever?
Right.
And she's like, no. And you're like, okay, why would you listen to them now? No, I already have the spiel prepared for whenever the day comes.
Right.
I already know what I'm doing to remedy everything. Like I've got the fail-proof plan. I already know.
Are you going to share, or are you just going to hold it?
Should we? I mean, is it okay to share?
I think our listeners are.
I think people would want to know some ideas,
especially if they're on the fence. Citizens of Hickory.
So whenever the time comes, whether it is her coming to me and saying like, is this real? Like, what's going on? Or if it's just, Mommy, everybody has said this. Like, everybody.
Those are probably the 2 major approaches.
That's how it's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to explain to her that the time has come for her to become a Santa Claus.
I like this.
Oh, for Sullivan.
For anybody.
Yep. Okay, I got you.
We focus a lot in our household, and I know not everybody does, but we try to do for others when we can, sure. Right? Whether it's buying an angel off the angel tree and getting their gifts, whether it's, giving to Salvation Army, whether it's piling up all of our clothes that don't fit anymore and donating them before the holidays, taking winter coats, all that jazz, right? We try to do as much as we can, and we try to instill that in our children. And I'll be turning that into what we call being a Santa Claus.
Like the spirit of Santa Claus or something like that.
Being a Santa Claus.
Right, okay.
Need for recognition.
Oh,
absolutely, yes. And so now this... you are now old enough to become a Santa Claus. Meaning, I want you to pick a project almost, okay? Whether it is a neighbor that, you want to deliver cookies to, whether it's a shelter that we want to collect toys for, or whether it's you want to go shovel snow off somebody's driveway or something, right? Whatever it may be, an act of kindness. And it can or doesn't have to be related to funds and money, but my child will be asked to become a Santa Claus at that point.
Right.
And I'll explain that I've been a Santa Claus since I was however old. Right. And that, that's why Mommy and Daddy try to do good things for other people, is because we're being Santa Clauses for them as well as for our children who learn the difference between want and need a lot, and that's going to be my approach.
I think one key to that is, and I believe you do it, make sure you're doing it beforehand. Like,
absolutely.
You got to go shovel a neighbor's driveway. Mm-hmm. How come, Mommy, you don't shovel anything?
Well,
we just got to make sure we airtight.
This will be my child's choice. I want my child to select something that they are going to be the Santa Claus for.
Right.
I like the whole bringing them into the gang.
It can be a little.
Now you're one of us.
Like their little sister. If my little one.
I like this.
If she wants to be the Santa Claus for my little one, then that means she gets to go help me pick out some stuff for her. Things like that,
right. That's a good idea.
And we focus more on it's what they need as opposed to what they want. Like I'm not going to really encourage her to pick out just toys, but maybe let's pick out some new snow boots or, something that is broken in her room, stuff like that. That's
if your
my
teachers
approach.
out there, just don't do what my teacher did, evidently.
That makes me so upset.
Any
She ruined
adult,
Christmas.
any adult, don't ever ruin it for a kid. Let them figure it out and ruin it for their own peers.
Yes.
Well,
and I don't have copyright
You know
on
what?
that
Well, you
idea.
know what?
Y'all can
very
use
good.
it all you want. Like you said, bring them into the gang. Make
Like
them part of the
they're one
club.
of us.
Yeah, that's what we are.
No, we should
are
come
all
up with a secret
Santa
handshake.
Claus. Oh my God, that would be amazing.
I like it.
Yeah. All right.
so you know what was real good?
Lunch.
Holy cow.
Okay, well, now is the time. It's moving on to our favorite segment and yours, our Hickory food review.
Yes.
All right, McNally,
Yo,
where'd we go today?
we went to
First stop.
Good Fo. Yeah, that's right. There were multiple stops.
Yep.
Good Fo You,
Good for you.
which is on Highway 127 in, I do not know the name of the shopping center. It was a shopping center.
It's
With, Salsaritas,
it's in between
Panera, it's right there
Salsaritas
in the
and
middle.
Panera, In that one. In that
And it's funny enough, I don't know the name of it, but yes, it is. It's been a black hole for a little while of some.
The shopping
restaurants
center's
of no
only been there
return.
for what? You think 6-7 years?
Yeah, it was like Neon Noodle for a minute, and it was something else for a minute. But but like Mary Margaret said, some Hickory's got a bad reputation for when one restaurant doesn't make it in one location, the next one's not going to make it, and it just perpetuates.
And that is
into
most
this
places.
And it is at most places. I agree with that. However, we went there. It was 11:45. Place was packed.
This one looks like it. Well, one, it looks like it'll keep going. Two, from what I had and saw, it should definitely keep going because I had not been. The faux food phenomenon. I had to ask where it was originated, and we looked that up.
Yeah.
We've got a large Hmong population here, and it is traditional Vietnamese food. I think Mary Margaret even said that pho is the national dish of Vietnam. So,
Sure.
Which made us look up, and FYI, there isn't one for the United States.
Lame.
The more you know. See, we drop knowledge everywhere we can.
That's right.
On the pod. So we went in there. It's actually a decent menu.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to talk to Ty afterwards, who is either the proprietor or works there. You could tell he's very excited. The menu is expanding because of popular demand. People that go there multiple times a week want that variety. So they had fried rice dishes. They had the noodle dishes. They had pho, which is, I guess, more of like a soup with noodle and so on and so forth. Then coming up soon, they'll have, sandwich options, the stock pot where you're almost cooking the food there. More to come. But I started off with egg rolls, which were excellent. Crispy, pork.
Two of them? Right?
Two of them, yep.
Yeah.
An order comes with two. It's the crispy outer shell. It wasn't the big fried, really overdone with the dough. Really good. And then I had fried rice with steak, chicken, shrimp. Added some sriracha on it. One time added a little bit of the chili oil, but I'll let Moose expand on the chili oil. It was very good. And the good thing about it is, unlike a lot of places, it tasted kind of fresh and light for a fried rice dish. You could really taste all the flavors. I really enjoyed it and look forward to going there and trying some of the other items that they had on the menu.
Does your family enjoy ethnic food, if you will, or different?
My wife and I do, and I
yeah.
probably have one kid that would try it.
Okay. All right.
The other two, no.
Yeah. Chicken Finger City.
Pizza, chicken fingers, yeah,
Mac
the
and cheese?
basics. Oh gosh, yeah. How can I forget
The
that?
national dish of the United States.
That should be.
chicken fingers.
Moose,
I
what'd you have?
had chicken with egg noodles, and it was fantastic.
You had a choice.
I did have a choice
Of egg noodles
or
rice.
rice. Or
Rice noodles, right?
Yep.
Rice noodles,
Yeah.
yeah, rice
Yeah, rice
noodles, yeah.
noodles.
Those, and I added hoisin sauce, which I've never had before.
Hoisin.
Well, how you say it?
Hoisin.
Hoisin sauce. And then I added the chili oil, which McNally mentioned earlier, and it lit me
You
up.
caught the vapors.
It was it rocked me, but it was a good rock me. It just sat there in your mouth and kind of just heated up your whole body. It was delicious.
It was brought a tear to your eye, literally.
It did. Mary Margaret can tell you about the gallon of soup that she had today.
Jeez Louise. So I was the only one that had been there before. I have gone a couple of times for lunch. I've never had food in the actual restaurant. Like I've always got it to go. Mm-hmm. And so I order the medium.
There's
pho,
2 sizes for this.
medium and large.
Yes.
And I order the medium pho. And I always started out with order of spring rolls, which is the non-fried version, essentially of an egg roll.
They look
shrimp,
excellent.
Vegetables. They're amazing.
It's like phyllo dough or something. What's that stuff called?
No, it's
rice paper.
Like a rice paper, sort of.
Right.
Yeah, but it's steamed.
Right.
Yeah, so it's real like gooey almost. It's phenomenal. It comes with this peanut sauce, and they're so good, super fresh. Just amazing. I could eat several of those as just my meal, I feel like. But alas, I did order the pho because I love it. And the medium is gigantic. It just is.
Gigantic is putting it, honestly,
Yeah.
mildly. And you told me about this beforehand, how you wanted a kid version.
Yeah. I got in trouble.
There's a half
one
gallon.
time.
There's a half gallon of broth in there.
Absolutely. I went the first time, and they have a little display up at their order counter that says medium, large, kid. Okay, is what it used to be. And there were these 3 sizes, and I saw the bowls, and I was like, "Oh goodness! Well, it's my first time going there at this point, and I was like, I'm just going to get
Just
the
a
kid
toe in the
size.
water.
Yeah, I just want to make sure like that I'm digging what they're doing. And I ordered the kid size at lunch. No problem. They send you away with just the broth, and then they put all the fillings and toppings into to-go boxes. So you actually build it yourself, which I really like. And it's noodles and bean sprouts and mint and jalapenos and everything, right? Like all kinds of stuff, including the meat that you get, which I got
Beef.
like a skirt steak. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but the second time I came back and ordered a kid size, they were like, hey, here's the thing.
Get your hand slapped.
We're about to not allow anyone, not a child, to order kid stuff. And I'm like, I can't eat that other size. And they were like, sorry. And I was like, maybe you guys could come up with like a lunch size. Like that would be really cool. In my mind, it's just a lunch size of stuff. And they were like, yeah, maybe. Like, I don't know.
Have to
But
get new bowls.
right. They were like, right now, we're just not going to allow anyone to order a kid size anymore. So I don't know if I was obviously not the only one, because now the kid size has been
gone.
Eliminated. Yes. So it's now called medium and large as opposed to kid, large, and extra large. And so the medium's the smallest I can get, and it's still gigantic. I mean,
It is huge.
and ate and ate. And
It felt like a half hour,
Yeah.
and it might have moved an inch.
And you guys saw, like, it wasn't like I was not eating it.
Yeah.
Like, I was eating, and man, it just feels like it goes nowhere. It feels so wasteful. That's the only problem I have with that. I get if you're going to get carry out that you could justify it maybe being saved for later.
Yeah, or for 2.
Correct. Yes, and split it, But when I'm there for lunch and I come and I'm not going to get a to-go box of the stuff to take back to my office to find the fridge for. I don't know. That's just me personally. I know some people will do that. But it just felt wasteful at that point then.
Yeah. I mean, if the medium is like the new kid size, it's the kid size if you have 4 kids.
Absolutely.
And they all eat
could
it.
all your
totally
children.
split it.
For all your
totally. So that's just a heads up and a warning to anybody listening.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to order
Not
it.
that it wasn't good, and you
No.
knew you were going to get it because you like it.
Because I love it, and I knew I was going to have to get that big of a size, but it still was.
Like leftovers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Good FOYou's also got the bubble teas. The second place we've been on Street Circle Drive that has bubble tea.
Yes.
We did not try it, but they look good. But yeah, Good FOYou is located at 958 2nd Street Northeast. For those need to Google that, and you can find all their information on the internet and all that good stuff. We also made a.
No, wait, hold on.
Oh,
You didn't give any
gotta rate
ratings.
it.
You didn't even
I was
know.
I was going to here in a second.
Oh, you're doing the
I'm
double
lying.
I
check.
was
I
talking
forgot.
about. Yeah, I know you were. Don't try to lie to me on the air. Faux ratings.
I'll give it a solid 5 out of 7.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it probably a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I look forward to going back and trying more of the menu. The fried rice was good.
Absolutely.
But, I dip my toe in the water. You get fried rice at a lot of places. I am looking forward to going and trying more authentic food that they are proud of, that they're there for. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to going back.
Excellent. And Moose, you'll go back?
Oh, I'll definitely go back.
Yeah, okay. I give it like an 8 out of 10. Like, I could eat soup every day of the year, like, pretty much. I love it. I've told you guys before, I'm not a sandwich girl.
That's true.
But soup I am. So I could probably eat this stuff all the time, and I love the vegetables in it, and it's super fresh. But I do wish they had more of my friendly size so that I don't feel so conflicted when I'm ordering. But yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yep, I definitely would go back.
But I'll totally go back.
Yep.
So on this episode of Street Circle Drive, we decided for our holiday edition that we were going to go to 2 places today.
Double dip
For dessert. We went to a little bit further north on 127 to Donut Life.
Boom, boom,
Man,
boom.
oh man, that place is blowing up.
Yeah, considering that it's right next to Curves, which I think is awkward. But hey, I mean, who knows? I don't know.
Or it's marketing. You eat a Donut Life a lot, you're going to have some curves.
It's in the old.
Look at me.
It's in the old Dairy Queen.
Yes,
it is.
And I'll admit, I miss a Dairy Queen because I do love Dairy Queen.
It's a proper replacement.
And I'm okay with this now.
Right.
I was a little, it sat empty for a while, though.
It did.
And I was sad. It's sad. Froyo has taken over. Dairy Queen's not cool anymore.
Right.
But it's cool to our generation, I think.
So full disclosure, donuts are my favorite food on the planet. That has been...
Original glazed is your favorite.
Original glazed is... my favorite food. Donut Life has a great original glazed donut. They also have fill your own jelly or fill your own filled donuts. Then they have Moravian cream and jelly and
lemon, raspberry, blueberry,
all that stuff.
And it's not fill your own. Just
they fill it for you. But
want to make sure for all the health conscious
germ folks.
But I didn't know this until because I got the jelly donut because I do have some Yankee blood in me from my dad, so that's just what my favorite donut is.
Yuck.
So I got the jelly donut, and I remember she said, "Oh, what kind do you want?" And I looked in the shelf thinking, I don't see the different kinds, and she listed all these, and I just named it, and she just ran off, and then she came back. So that part is really cool. One, Moose made a good point, less waste. You just got the donuts there ready to go. Then it's freshly squeezed in there, so it's not getting... The donuts are not big, thick, heavy cake donuts. They are that light, fluffy, fried.
They're airy.
So good. They're so good. What jelly did you have?
I got raspberry.
Raspberry filled.
Right.
What did you have?
I had the original glazed, but I have been to Donut Life before and got the apple fritter, and it's out of the universe.
Yep.
It's gigantic.
It is gigantic. It's the size of your head, but it's good.
The gigantic.
It's the size of a cat head biscuit.
The donuts there are big. All of them were big for even donuts.
Sure.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
That was my first time. It was delicious.
And I got the maple bacon, which I thoroughly enjoy. I've had before. Wonderful, like butterscotch-looking, caramel-looking color icing on it, which is maple-flavored, like maple syrupy flavored.
Yeah, the maple makes it.
Yeah, it was amazing. Gave McNally a bite of it. And then it's got real crunchy bacon on top that they've sprinkled on. I mean, it's real deal bacon. It's not like bacon bits. Yep. It's real stuff. So good. Love it. Yeah, we've been there several times with my children on delay days and whatnot at school, and there's always a line. There's always a crowd.
Right.
Of people
we
in there.
went right after lunch. 12:30 or so. There's a line out the door.
People getting boxes.
Yeah, which is, it's brilliant. It's these people. They are nice. Every time I've been in there, they've been super friendly. Very, very. You walk in, they say hello, you're leaving, they say goodbye. There's a coffee area there, so I got a small coffee as well. It's kind of fill your own, and then a bunch of little creamers that you can mix in. And very minimal stuff in there. Then there's just a few chairs and tables.
Yeah, it's a no frills place. They do what they do well. It's no frills, and we love our locally owned places. It's great.
It's so good to have a place like that adds a little creativity, a little uniqueness to something that, I think other people have tried to just pull off as frozen donuts here or there, as we all know. But I love it. I'm so glad that they've made this in Hickory.
That's right.
If you follow them,
Tinseltown awesome.
That's right. Be sure to follow Donut Life on Facebook, as they do announce specials and announcements that they have. And there are days that have been extra busy, especially whenever the bad weather hit. They sell out of stuff, and obviously they don't want to be wasteful, which is nice too. So they will tell you if they have to close down early. So be sure to follow them on there and get the updates.
Yeah, StreetCircleDrive is also on Facebook as well. You can go check out all their good stuff.
So give the Donut Life your ratings.
I'm telling you, Donut Life gets like a 14 out of 7 for me. It's 200% great. It's making me think about my life choices really. Krispy Kreme original glaze has been one of my favorite foods for since I was able to eat food. And Donut Life, they might be taking the crown. 14 out of 7.
I give them a 9 out of 10.
Same. I go 9 out of 10. I think there's just a tiny bit of growth that can happen with them when it comes to the experience, maybe. I think instead of just feeling like you kind of want to go in, grab your stuff, and leave, I would love a little bit more experience. But, I mean, hey, there was table and chairs. I sat down, ate it, and it wasn't like I was unhappy.
Maybe they're concentrating on turning people over.
Absolutely. You ate and left. But I personally, I love Krispy Kreme. I really do. But this style of donut that Donut Life does, I prefer over the style of Krispy Kreme just because.
And it's local. So
yeah.
Love it.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I know the holiday's coming up. The thing that I want in my stocking...
Oranges.
No.
Oh.
Or walnuts or whatever else
hard candy
they put in their stockings. No. I want socks. And I want my socks from the Sock Factory, sponsor of today's pod.
Hey.
Sock Factory, locally owned and operated here in Hickory since 1975. It's actually older than me, and I'm the oldest thing in this room right now, so that's pretty scary. 3 lines of socks: Crazy Compression, William Tucker, Fit Sock. Ask all of you folks to visit them. They're sponsoring us, supporting us, locally made. TheSockFactory.com. And come on, Sock Factory. Michael McNally needs some socks. Let's make this happen.
I got my. I got my cans on today.
I want the ones with the state of North Carolina on them, and I think they should create a purple and gold one. Do it.
I know. Okay. Well,
Sock Factory.
Street Circle Drive listeners, we hope you guys have a great holiday season.
Absolutely.
Make sure you go check out all the great places that we've mentioned here on the podcast. StreetCircleDrive, Donut Life, all that good stuff. Mary Margaret, I think.
I was just playing my favorite Christmas song to see us out here.
Okay, I heard Dolly Parton has tattoos all over her body. That's why she wears long sleeves all the time. Is that true?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, I don't hang out with her. I just like her music, but
I've never heard this song.
I've never heard Hard Candy Christmas. Like everybody has remade it.
I feel like I've had different Christmas lives than you guys, and mine's obviously been better.
Speaking of songs, Mariah Carey makes like a ridiculous amount of money on the Christmas song that she wrote back in '94.
Get All I Want for Christmas Is You.
All I Want for Christmas Is
You. It's a great song.
It is a great song.
Not many newish songs are like, have to be played.
Whatever. You're all paying her right now because you're talking about
That's right. Well, play us out, Dolly.
All right, everybody, check out all of our other shows here on themesh.tv. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow, like, subscribe. See you later.
Merry Christmas.
Ho ho ho.
Maybe I'll just lie low. Maybe I'll hit the bars. Maybe I'll count the stars.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.